Hello and welcome to this week's weather video. Unfortunately, it was kind of a crappy weekend. Saturday was just miserable, and today we had a lot of clouds around. They really didn't start breaking up until later in the day. This is what it looked like for most of the day, and you could see the clouds just kind of got stuck over us, never really cleared out at all. But there was an interesting line of some snow squalls in parts of the area. I didn't witness any snow squalls today. But I did witness some interesting clouds today. I'll just show you what those clouds look like so you can see here. This is one of them. So this looks like a snow squall right here, a snow shower. And then there's another, probably the same one there. Right around late afternoon, we started seeing this activity. As far as tonight goes, the skies have cleared out. There have been some clouds around, but other than that, it's been pretty nice out this evening, though the winds are picking up, the temperatures are dropping. It was nice to see the stars. So anyway, let's go over our current conditions out there right now before we go and look at what is going to be coming this week, which is a change to definitely a more wintry weather pattern. For once, the alley is only 2 degrees warmer because of the wind. 36 at Islip, the alley's 38. Because we wind gust 30 from the northwest. You can definitely see those winds picking up out there as we get into a pressure gradient here. But it was a warm day today, regardless. Temperatures right now have dropped to the mid-30s. But if we go and we look at the high temperatures for earlier on, you can see we got well into the mid-40s, mid to even upper 40s in parts of the city, even close to 50 if you were in New Jersey, a lot of areas got close to 50, 49 in Toms River. And the lows, they're probably the current temperatures we're seeing right now. So, and we'll go over our Islip actually had a wind gust of 51, by the way. Looks like reported. I wonder when that wind gust happened. Thought I saw 51 there. I wonder when that happened. Right here, 6:06. So 6 o'clock. It looks like there was a snow squall that hit around Islip, and there was a wind gust of 51 in that snow squall. But unfortunately, it missed Nassau, but there was some snow squalls out there, and you can see after that snow squall, the temperatures dropped into the 30s. But for the most part, we had temperatures in the 40s today. We had that, and then I don't know if West Hampton got that snow squall or not as well. Probably not. I don't see a wind gust over there, but still, there was some snow squalls out there. We'll talk about it briefly. We're going to go over our precipitation for the past 72 hours, I guess. Just go the rainfall amounts that we got. And even though it was a miserable day, looks like 0.93 at Islip, 0.82, 0.79 at West Hampton. I do see some 1-inch amounts here. So the rain a little bit less than, it's mostly just light rain again, just miserable, lingering around all day kind of rain. But it really didn't put that much in the rain gauge. 0.88 at JFK. Looks like New Jersey wound up getting into a lot more of the heavier rain. I see over 1 inch in Toms River and Ocean County into southern Monmouth County as well. So it looks like that area, and even more as you headed further south and west. This is where you saw your 1 to 2 inch amounts in Atlantic County. So at least there, Pine Barrens got a decent dose of rain, although it seemed like it kind of most of the activity with the heaviest stuff was off to the south yesterday. Let's go to our climate site in West Hampton, and again, we'll see if they got into the snow squalls. I don't think they did. It looks like they did, but they weren't as strong. I'll just go back. I'm just kind of curious as to how cold it got Saturday morning at West Hampton, because there was some radiational cooling. Was it Saturday morning? No, it wasn't. It was Friday morning, I think. Friday morning, I should have done a weather video. Let's see. It got down to 21 again. 19 actually. So, yeah, they did get some radiational cooling Friday morning, I guess. So they did get some. But we're not going to see that tonight with the wind, obviously. Wow, Stony Brook gusted to 49. Look at this. A 67-mile-an-hour wind gust at Stony Brook. Man, must have been in that snow squall right around 6 o'clock. Yep. that was an impressive snow squall. So, what we are going to do, we are going to go and we're going to look in Port Jefferson at the Earth Cam there and see what this snow squall looked like. Kind of, kind of pissed that it missed us, but let's see. All right, we need to go to the 6 o'clock. Unfortunately, it's dark. I don't know if we're going to see the clouds from it coming in. Let's see if we can see the clouds. Unfortunately, it's dark, but we may be able to catch a little bit of that snow squall when it came in. I'll put the sound on, see if we can hear that wind blowing. All right, I see drops on the lens. Yeah, some pretty strong winds there. Right around 6:07, so Stony Brook and Port Jefferson are not that far from each other. Oh yeah, I see some flakes. Maybe some mixed rain and snow in there. It's definitely a snow squall, though. Too bad it was dark. Yeah, I see the flakes. Yeah, we didn't get anything here and there, so we didn't get any snow squalls. This is the one that was over Yonkers, I think, that came from Westchester and went over Suffolk County. But, yeah, there you go. Very impressive, to say the least. We'll go ahead and look at the radar rewind, too, as well, with the snow squall as well, because it was impressive. Let's go to the radar. Let's rewind that radar to around 6 o'clock. So there it is. There's the snow squall. You could see it coming down from... coming through Connecticut there, Westchester, right into Suffolk County. There you go, 6 o'clock, right there. Really impressive snow squall. Take a look at that. It's funny, the city stations, they weren't talking about this at all. They were talking a little bit about it, but they were talking about it when it was hitting Westchester, but they didn't even talk about it hitting Long Island. And it looks like we did get a decent burst of snow between 6 and 7. Look at that. Oh, yeah, it got really heavy over Shirley Airport. Take a look at that. I mean, it's like crazy stuff. I got to go back to the weather map and see what Shirley gusted to today. 45. So, yeah, really impressive snow squall. Yeah, I had to talk about that. You can see there's a gale warning in effect for our waters. No wind advisories. I don't know. Could have used one today, perhaps, at least with the snow squalls, and we might need one overnight into tomorrow. Probably just shy of needing one, but we do have a pretty tight pressure gradient. Looking at the satellite, another satellite view, and you can see, again, we have those breaks in the clouds right now. And looking at the country as a whole, waiting for that to load. So you can see the trough that's coming in, and this will bring cooler temperatures and hopefully maybe some sunshine. You can see there's another big storm coming into the west, but there is a change in the works that we're going to be talking about. Before I get to that, let's just go over this climate report for Islip. Today, high of 47, low of 43, running 13 degrees above normal. For the month, we're at 1.01 inches of rain or precipitation. So still a little bit below normal for precipitation. Still seeing that trend of below normal conditions. So let's go to the wider view here, and you'll see, again, some wind advisories across the Northeast, and not a whole lot going on across the country. Do have one of these air stagnation advisories for the West, but other than that, we're just dealing with some more blustery conditions across the area. Looking at the weather map, you'll see there's the low pressure, there's high pressure, big broad area high pressure, and a large area of snow off the north and west. And as we get into tomorrow, you'll see what's going to be happening this week here. You start seeing the beginnings of colder air coming into the picture as we get toward the latter part of the week. So let's go and look at the models. All right, so here we go over to the models, and we'll first go and we'll look at the upper air, starting with the European model, and go to the jet stream. Let's do that jet stream. So here we are at the jet stream. It's the 18Z run of the Euro. I want to go to the 12Z run of the Euro. So you can see here there's a trough coming through. It's going to bring some cooler air. And then you can see what happens as we get toward the latter part of the week. A much bigger trough develops. And we'll have to watch the potential for snow as well. Thursday night to Friday, you can see there's the energy right there that's going to create that chance for snow, possible coastal storm. And then behind it, we start getting into some more of that Arctic air. Here we go. And it looks definitely more favorable for some Arctic air coming into the picture with this particular setup in the jet stream. We'll go to the GFS as well, the jet stream. And pretty much in agreement here, similar. GFS digs some more deeper troughs, perhaps. This is the 12Z GFS, just for continuity's sake. Let's go to the 500 on the GFS. So here we go into this week. All right, so there's the storm that's bringing us the wind right now. The wind's quiet down. We get into a westerly flow, and this is just seasonably cold air. It's a Pacific air. This is not real Arctic air coming in. There maybe from southern Canada or whatever. All right, but look what happens as we get toward Thursday. You can see that deep trough there developing there, and behind that storm, again, could bring us some snow, but we're going to get into some colder air. You can see there's blocking in Greenland as well. So we're definitely going to see some bouts of colder air, though the GFS does have a moderation after that shot of cold air. Let's go ahead and look at the European 12Z. So here's the European 12Z. European even deeper with that trough, you could see. All right. Yeah, the European keeps the cold air around. In fact, it doesn't really let it up at all. There's a good block up there, and that's going to keep the cold air coming down. And there's some Arctic air in there as well. So we'll go to our temperature anomalies on the European. So right now, you can see very, very above normal temperatures across much of Canada. So even when that northwest flow kicks, that's why we're not seeing any cold air, because the Arctic air is kind of stuck north, and we're just seeing this air from the southern part of Canada. So it's not that cold. But as we get toward Thursday, you see what happens. We start pulling down some colder air into the east here. And then behind it, a little bit of a moderation, and then another shot of cold air. And then here's an even bigger shot of cold air toward the end of the month that this European model is showing. This would be a nice Arctic blast right here. This would be a real significant blast of Arctic air, like highs maybe only in the 20s, maybe teens. That's what we're looking for. But when we flip this to the GFS, GFS doesn't show that at all. So this is the GFS. Looks a little different, as you see here, with the timing of things. But there is more cold air coming. Actually, GFS has one a little sooner, but there is more cold air coming, and that's the good news. We get out of this warm pattern. All right. So let's go to the surface view. And I guess we start with the GFS here. And for the surface, we'll go to the 18Z runs just because they're the for the storm. Well, let's go to the 12Z run first. All right. So obviously we have fair weather for the next couple of days, and then here comes the trough. So you can see there's that definitely looks like an Arctic high building down here, and there's going to be a storm along this trough. And the question is where this storm forms. Right now, this is the GFS at 12Z. Kind of shows it being kind of far out, so maybe we'd only see a light snowfall from that particular system. But there'll be other opportunities for snowfall here. As you see, there's another storm right there for Sunday, and the GFS obviously being more energetic and sooner with the Arctic air here coming in. All right, so but with plenty of Arctic air and storms, I think we'll see a better snow potential for the next week or two. Let's go to the European, and again, we'll start with the 12Z on the European here. Similar look to the GFS, and there's that storm again. European a little further west, though, and it has a little more warm air in there, maybe starting as rain and then going over to snow as the Arctic air comes in as we get into Friday. This is the 12Z run of the European. And then it has that second storm further east. So there is disagreement as we get toward the weekend, but one thing's for sure, we are going to see more Arctic air coming into the picture for sure. So we'll now go to the 18Z run of the European, see if anything's changed at all. And yeah, it seems like it's a little further east now again with that energy. So the 18Z seems to have shifted it further east and won't necessarily give us much of anything. It has the energy lagging a little bit. And that's the European. Let's go to the 18Z GFS. GFS has it a little closer. So this has to be watched. this will have to be watched because there is definitely the potential for snowfall. I don't think it's going to be a big blockbuster snowfall, but I think the potential for at least a couple of inches is there. And here comes there comes the Arctic air again on the GFS. It looks like it really is showing some really good Arctic air outputs. This one's so strong it suppresses the storm to the south. So that's good to see. So let's just show you this now. We get into the shorter range. Obviously, the storm for Thursday night to Friday is well outside the shorter range parameters for these models. So let's go to the 0Z run of the HRRR here. And you can see those isobars being close together. And that means the winds are going to be up there. They quiet down a little bit toward the evening. And then Tuesday, we start seeing a southerly flow develop ahead of this front here. It's really going to bring any much colder air behind that. So I'm just going to go to the dew points and wind flow now. So we look at the dew points and wind flow. And we have dry air in place, northwest winds. The winds become a little more westerly during the day tomorrow, then a little more west-southwesterly toward the evening, which is not what I want to hear because that direction is going to bring in furnace exhaust. Oh, my God. I can't breathe. So that's not going to be good at all for me. But you notice that the dew points do come up, and then we have mild air start running in, coming back on Tuesday. Temperatures will be increasing again. The night, no radiational cooling, but lows should get down to the upper 20s, mid to upper 20s. And then for tomorrow, seasonably cool, highs around 40, low 40s. And then tomorrow night, I think we'll have too much wind for radiational cooling. Lows won't be quite as cold, probably around freezing. And then we warm back up into the mid 40s for Tuesday. But there will be a southerly flow with that, so there'll be a bit of a cooling effect on the south shore of the sea breeze. Let's take a look at some soundings for tomorrow. Obviously, this is for skies, and it's not a great-looking sounding for us here on Long Island at noon. How about New Jersey? A little bit better. There's some moisture in the mid-levels, but I'm hoping maybe we can somehow get some sunshine in. We'll take a look at that in a moment here, but going back to the morning, let's see what we have. So things look a little better in Jersey if you want the sun, a little worse on Long Island. Some of that mid-level moisture that we have for tomorrow. So that's what the HRRR shows us. We're not going to have to deal with any precipitation for a while, but I'm going to go back to the European here, and we're going to go ahead and look at our dew points and wind flow and show you what's going to be happening here on the 18Z run here. We'll just use the 18Z run for now. You'll see, again, there's that southerly flow that develops on Tuesday, and then Wednesday we still stay in that southerly flow, that little trough or whatever it is. I can't even call it a front. Isn't really going to do anything. It's this push here. This is what's going to cause this storm right here, and that right there. When you see 2 points that low, you know that you're dealing with a little bit of modified Arctic air. I'll just put it that way. It doesn't really come in. It comes in and then it leaves relatively quickly. This is the 18Z run. Temperatures. Again, the temperatures will change once we get into that. So Wednesday, we could probably have 45 to 50. But then as we get into Thursday, we're dealing with temperatures in the 40s, and then temperatures drop as that precipitation moves in. And then we have temperatures drop into the 20s. And then for Friday, we're struggling to get to freezing. So we're dealing with, but you see how it kind of backs off as we go toward Saturday. If we go a little bit further, you'll see what this is showing. There's another potential for a storm there. It says some cold air right there coming in. And then as we get toward next week, that's when we start seeing some really cold air come into the picture. This is what I'm talking about. That last run. Look at that. Oh, that would be awesome. Take a look at that. These are air temperatures, folks. How about a morning where we get down to 0? Of course, this is a ways away. It may very well not happen. This is wishful thinking, but hey, it could. That's the kind of cold air that we could be dealing with as we get into next week, and I'm really hoping it is. And those dew points are going to be even lower than that. Look at that. That's really frigid air. That's the kind of air I want to get. GFS. Let's go to the 18Z run. I'm kind of fixated on the Arctic air here at this point. So this is the GFS again showing. There's the GFS brings it in sooner, but it still brings in kind of a similar type of chill here, where we're going to have highs only perhaps struggling to get to the 20s, which I would absolutely love. So yeah, there it is. There's that second blast again that I'm talking about right there. Look at that. So yeah, that is what I'm talking about right there. So that's the kind of, we need that really bitterly deep freeze, that bitter Arctic air that we need. Where, I mean, when I was younger, we always had those Arctic air masses where highs wouldn't get out of the teens. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. So anyway, we'll go to our radar simulations now. In the GFS, this is the 18Z GFS here. Radar simulation for the storm here, and you can see the tail end could be snow, but the GFS probably not giving us too much snow. The heavier snows would probably be up toward New England. This is the GFS 18Z run. 12Z run, similar deal. So not a huge snowmaker this storm right now, but again, that will have to be watched here. There's the AI GFS, but that doesn't put out that particular product. We have the Icon as well, which we'll look at as well for the storm. 18Z doesn't go out that. Yeah, it does go out far enough. This is the 18Z run here. Yeah, it kind of completely suppresses it. Oh wait, I gotta change this. So here's the Icon. It kind of just, yeah, it kind of has it all suppressed. So there's no guarantee that there's going to be a big storm. More likely not, but there could be the potential for an inch or two of snow. And it'll just have to be watched as we get closer to it, because things could change. But right now, not looking like a big snowmaker at all right now for us. But again, the potential is there for a bigger snowstorm. Right now, I'm not seeing it. So let's go over the skies. Of course, the news media will hype it, of course, because that's what they do. Go to the skies for tomorrow, and it is showing some scattered high cloudiness, perhaps, over more likely Long Island and north, less to the south for tomorrow. And then some may move in the evening. And then for Tuesday, we'll probably have to deal with a little bit of high cloudiness, but and there could be some jet chunk in there. I think it's more likely on Tuesday, where they subtly flow. And then as we get into Wednesday, we'll start seeing those clouds increase. As we get to this is the RGEM, and the RGEM has this front just moving through, and Thursday being clearing out, so to speak. So this is the 0Z run of this, and if that were the case, we would have a sunny day on Thursday, and then Friday perhaps sunny, and then the clouds would come in later on. I'm not going to go any further than that, but we do. Hopefully, I'd rather have this type of situation. I don't think it's. See, the GFS obviously does not have that set up. That has it moving way too fast. So the Canadian has its own prerogative here. But that might be a trend at this point, so I'll have to keep an eye on it. That'll be a trend, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. It would be nice if it would be clear on Thursday, but I don't know if that's what's going to happen. Clear and chilly. If we go to the Canadian again, the Canadian would just bring the front through with no low along it, which would mean we would get right into the cold air. Let's see, Thursday right here. Yeah, Thursday it highs only around the mid-30s. If this were to verify, this is the Canadian model. This is totally different here. You can see how it just keeps things moving, which I like. I like things to keep moving. Sorry for those who want snow. I don't want a lot of snow. All right, I just want some sunshine and nice skies so I can escape into the Pine Barrens for a while, which is what I need. So anyway, and I'm talking about a big escape because I need that. But okay, let's go to the climate predictions. Oh, there's one more thing we're going to check out. Yeah, believe it or not, they mentioned this in the news the other day. Yeah, the drought monitor has put us back into moderate drought risk for western parts of Long Island, into New York City, central Jersey, and then as we go to Suffolk County, it has it just ended up abnormally dry for most of Suffolk County and for the Jersey Shore, but there is an area of severe drought in northern Jersey, northwest Jersey, stretching into northeastern Pennsylvania. So, yeah, that's something that, again, we're seeing because of, again, we've been below normal for precipitation. So let's go to the Climate Prediction Center here and go over the 6 to 10 day outlook. And this, again, looks great here. Below normal temperatures for the east. You see the ridge in the west right there. And in the 6 to 10 day outlook, again, you can see below normal precipitation chances across much of the country. Best chances are out west in the mountains there, from Rockies down into like maybe Arizona, a little bit of Arizona there, into almost the central part of the country. But and then only the extreme northeast is the near normal precipitation. So chances are we see above normal, below normal precipitation the next 6 to 10 days. Go to 8 to 14 day, it goes to normal precipitation chances for most areas, but we're still staying below normal in the east, so that's a good sign to see. And I'm glad we're seeing that. Definitely is a better outlook, and we could do 3. I don't usually go this far out, but it still shows even 3 to 4 below normal, and then the precipitation chances along the central part start going above normal, which could mean increased chances for snowfall as we get to 3 to 4 weeks from now. But this is an extreme long-range forecast. I'm just showing that to you. I'm not really going to go beyond that because I take most of these long-range forecasts with a grain of salt. Once I get beyond 8 to 14 days, it's kind of impossible. Not even going to go there. We'll go ahead and look at the sea ice situation, and I'm a little later with this video because I was looking to see if I could find another site for sea ice, but I haven't found that. But looks like we're seeing some recovery, but this is, again, we're below the normal quite a bit here with the sea ice, so it's still definitely a bad sign for our climate. Of course, nobody's talking about that. Just want to check one other thing here on this Northern Hemisphere view with the GFS at 18Z, and we're going to go ahead and look at this, which is what I've explained to you about the polar vortex here. You can see how it's stretching and starting to split, so that's a good sign. We're seeing that, and take a look what happens as we get again toward. There's that polar vortex coming down, so we're going to hopefully have by the end of the month the polar vortex coming in into the United States, which will bring some absolutely bone-chilling frigid weather, which is exactly the way it's supposed to be in the winter. So that is going to wrap it up from here. I'll have another video probably Wednesday night. It depends on what happens with the storm on Thursday. We'll see. Normally I'll do a weekend video for Thursday night, but if the storm looks to be a little more important, then Wednesday night I'll do the video instead. But anyway, have a good night, and thanks for watching.